Hello, thanks for tuning in. This is the video that I did about a week ago of the when I received the 1080 Ti Black Edition. Um, Really exciting experience, and I basically did the video as a sort of a thank you to EVGA for creating the step up programming, allowing us who got there through number one, being able to get to the ICX branded or updated cooler version from our For the Win, like for the ACX. So many so many acronyms, I sort of lose track after a while. At any rate, so I went through two prior graphics cards before getting to the 1080 Ti, and basically all I had to do was pay the difference between what it cost for the prior card to this card. So long story short, I finally have my final graphics card. So for better or for worse, this is going to be it. So up to this point, now I was breaking in my new machine, and all this is brand new stuff for me, and I had not really explored doing overclocking. So I got the Precision X software, pressed the K button, which K boost button, and thought, hey, I'm pretty much done now. But it turns out that K button, I was mistaken about that. And I think maybe some other people maybe have sort of under a wrong presumption about what that K boost button does. And what it does is it forces the game to run at full boost, but not because it is overclocking the card in any way, but because it's to assist in older gaming titles to smooth out the frame rates. And I guess the fact is that these new graphics cards are so powerful compared to what was available 5 years ago that they run ahead of what the application can give to them, and so there's this slowdown, start, stop, slow down, and you get this stuttering effect in when you're playing. So this forces the graphics cards to run at full bore the whole time, and smooth out the performance and playability of the titles. So that's basically what it does. And it says now what you're supposed to do is instead go to the NVIDIA control panel, go to performance settings, and set each game individually to run at maximum performance. Leave the global setting at adaptive. That way your card can idle while you're sitting at your desktop. So that brings us back to overclocking. So in trying to answer this person's question, and they were a little, there's this difference between the 1080 and the Ti variant. Now the Ti variant, on the face of it, has lower numbers than the 1080 variant. So he's asking, he says, well, the boost clock on my 1080 out of the box reaches 1950, whereas on the black edition, I think he said 1600, but I think it's 1655 or something like that. So on the surface of it, that looks more, but he's not taking into account the fact that there's more CUDA cores on the Ti variant. There is faster memory on the Ti variant. There's also more memory on the Ti variant, all of which will, at some point or another, be totally utilized by one application or another. And a lot of these games, 4K gaming, they're hungry for every bit of power or capability that you can throw at them. Now, having said that, the fact still remains that out of the box, 1950 is higher than 1600. But this is where overclocking comes in, and you can erase that difference. And I think that overclocking the Ti, you're going to be able to overclock that more than you'll ever be able to overclock the 1080. But there's trade-offs. The problem is that the 1080 Ti is a power-hungry card which generates a lot of heat. And air, for better or for worse, is not really that efficient for getting rid of heat generated by processors, and this is where we came, the water cooling came to prominence, with the experimenters and modders. We're talking, some years ago, like 10, 15, 20 years ago or more, excuse me. But nowadays, if you overclock your card to get the megahertz, comparable to the prior edition, you're going to be dealing with a lot more noise. And now we're seeing a lot of people traipsing through the forums, looking to, either complaining about the noise or looking for water blocks and stuff that they can use to do that with. So that app totally mirrors my experience. So I was back here. Now, so this is what I said here. Anyway, I haven't played around with overclocking any of my cards until a few days ago after installing this one. This is my first experience, and it's been an eye-opener to say the least. I was under the erroneous impression that using the EVGA Precision X software and pressing the K button would suffice to overclock the card. But it really isn't a precise overclock. It just forces the card to run at max boost at all times, and the user can still customize the fan curve to their liking, based on the temperature curve they feel comfortable with. All well and good until you start playing with benchmarking software and discover the way it's really done. So it's been a quick education over the last few days, and thanks to this video, and this is the how to overclock your graphics card in 2017. So I was very pleased to run into this card, and this person, Tech Yes City, gives a quite succinct tutorial on how to do that. And I downloaded the edition of the software that he uses, but I found that with the 1080 Ti, this core voltage slider was locked. So luckily that there's already a beta out, 4.4.0 beta 11, which has the core voltage slider unlocked for the 1080 Ti variant. Now, some of the things are also a little bit different. I'm not able to actually get the slider oh, excuse me, to the 100% mark. And I think, as I said, or did I say, as I'm going to say, I just basically discovered that because of the temperature issue, which I discovered now. Let's go back to this site here. This is the GeForce GTX 1080 Ti Founders Edition on the original air cooler, and that's hot, 82 degrees Celsius. Now look at this on water cooling. It's like half. So if we're going to push the card to get the maximum out of it, to drive up that 1650 or 1700 megahertz to up to the 19 or 2000 megahertz that it's capable of, we're going to be running into very high temperatures and loud noise levels because of the fans, because it's going to have to try and cool that, because as soon as you hit that temperature, the core clock will start to be tamped down automatically, because it's not going to be allowed to burn up. so there's that temperature coefficient that you have to deal with. So that's the solution, is that in order to get the most out of the card, you are almost forced to go with water cooling. And that's the decision that I came to. I saw this, I saw what was possible, and I saw that how unstable my card was. The more I started to ramp up the different sliders and stuff like that. So that's when I finally it just hit me. It's like I saw that, it's like I have to go with water cooling. And I think if you're looking to overclock your card to get the most out of it, which I think everybody who has this is going to want to. So, and I think I'm going to just emphasize the summary and conclusion that Tom's Hardware here says. The GeForce GTX 1080 Founders Edition, just like NVIDIA's Titan X Pascal before it, is a monster of a graphics card when you augment its cooling. On air, the board doesn't really make it past 1.9 gigahertz consistently, and even that requires you pay the price of in extremely high noise levels. So you spend $700 or more on a graphics card, I think it behooves you to spend a little bit more and go with water cooling, and that's where I'm at. And I just wanted to report that that was my discovery. I had built this computer with in mind that I was going to go with fan cooling all the way, but that this graphics card changes the equation dramatically. So I'm going to have to look into water cooling for at least the graphics card. Till next time, thank you. Bye for now.